So tell me what state you live in.
I am in Idaho.
Okay, Idaho. Let me pull your worksheet back up here. All right, so first let's start with what questions do you have on your mind right now?
Well, I have a interesting, we're ranchers. I don't get a monthly. I wrote that down. I kind of tried to figure out what it would be monthly, but we're ranchers, so we get paid. Um, and then I have a gravel pit that I'm developing behind me that I get paid yearly on as well. So, um, and then we were running trucks. We just shut our trucking company down because of just it wasn't making money with fuel and trying to keep drivers and all that.
Okay.
You'll see that in my equipment as assets that I'm going to be selling shortly. But so anyway, with that being said, I get paid in June a big sum for the first of June, every 1st of June for the gravel pit, and then I get paid usually in December for our cattle. We sell our calf crop always in
Okay.
about December, so I get
Okay.
big chunks.
Okay.
I don't necessarily get monthly. We don't anymore now that we aren't running the trucks. We don't get a monthly paycheck.
Okay.
And so yeah, and I've gotten myself in big time in a lot of credit card debt. We would use the main card for fuel for the trucks, skip points and stuff. And anyway, I just going to want to get them paid down.
With your income that's showing on here, though, that is your correct income, what you bring in?
Yeah, I mean, if you divide out pretty much what we get yearly and divide it by 12. But the bad thing is what happens when we get paid. A lot chunk of it has to pay other things down. That what happens during the year. We'll have different bills that we have to. So I would be more closer to like 12. I would average it to probably 12,000 a month, not the 16.
So what is your pressing situation here, though? Because it looks like that you make plenty of money, even though it's, it comes in sporadically, I guess.
Because I feel like we do, but I don't feel either we're not managing it correctly. We're always kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul. We've run several businesses at once, which we're scaling down, and that's hard because we would take money from this business to cover stuff on this business until we got paid. It was just I just feel like I'm chasing my tail and I'm not. And now I have a lot of credit. I wanted to learn the whole, velocity with the getting those credit cards paid down. I have. Today I paid some bills. I have about 60,000 that I, in my savings that is for bills. It's supposed to get me through till December, for all my bills, because I have, a lot of pretty high living expenses every month, my mortgage and our car payment. And it's not terrible. I guess I'm just trying to wrap my head around how to manage these better and get things paid down. I got to get these credit cards paid down.
Right. Okay. So have you looked into a line of credit, like a true line? Oh, you already have a HELOC.
And that thing, well, but that's terrible. I've had it for years and it never gets, I've got to figure out what to do with that. I don't know if I can somehow put that into my mortgage. I got to get it paid off because it's just like I'm paying interest.
Oh, no.
It's a mess for years now.
So tell me about your property. What kind of value do you have on it?
The property's worth a lot. I'm sitting on, and I only owe, I owe way less than what it's worth. It's worth I don't know what I put down, I might have put a little high, but it's probably worth every bit of at least 2.5 million. The property, I have 80 acres, a custom home, a shop. It's a ranch.
Okay.
And it's worth a lot. And I'm sitting pretty good there because I owe 350 on it,
Okay. Yeah. The only thing that I see might be a problem, which, you could get a second position HELOC on it and roll that equity line into it because you have so much acreage. I don't think that they'll do HELOC, or at least first lien HELOCs. I don't think that they go over 5 acres or something, or you have to have, I think you have to have it divided maybe or something. I'd have to find out more information on that.
I am divided. I believe my house and I think it is like a 5 acre. And then the rest, good. I do think that, yeah.
Okay, good. So let's imagine that you take your equity line and your mortgage and you put it into one line, which would be your best bet, meaning you'd have about $437,000. Let's just say 438. Then your equity would be available, whatever you're not going to use. Let's say you added the credit cards into that, and they're at 47.3, let's say. So this is the home and equity line, and that's the credit cards. So 485,300. Then with your credit cards being at 1437 a month, your home being at 1410 for the equity, and then 1412 for the actual home, that clears up 42 $59 in cash flow a month. And if you're paying interest on the 485,300, you're in Idaho.
Because right now my mortgage is at a really good. It's like 3.152 or something like that.
Okay, that's 60%.
3.1 is my interest rate on my mortgage right now.
Okay, that is a 60% rate you're paying. So if you took the 60% down to 7.35, I believe it is right now, on a line, that means with your income, let's see what you've got. Okay, so first your income, you're showing 16,413, but then you have 12,000.
Yeah, I think because I mean that's more realistic, the 12.
Okay. All right. Just wanting to make sure that was right.
So how would I go about combining those into something like, I mean, I don't, that,
Okay. So they have a first lien HELOC. I've got a couple of lenders if you don't know where to find them.
Okay.
The first lien will take your home and all of your debt, as long as your home has the equity to do it, and put it into one line of credit, which would be about this total. It would take you about 12 years max. Just based on the 12,000 income, it would take about 12 years to pay this off. Now, that would go faster if you had more, because I'm not even counting your actual cash flow. I'm just counting taking the payments that you're already making and subtracting out the interest of the new line. That would be about 12 years for a payoff.
So I will have, can I tell you this gravel pit project I'm doing, we're mining our back 40, it'll bring in about 700,000 in the next few years. So I will be getting that 100,000 is going to jump up when they start mining, and I'm going to have all that income, quite a bit more income coming in with that.
Nice.
Next 2 to 3 years. Yeah. But I kind of wanted that for retirement, but I also want to get out of debt.
Well, that's what's nice about having the first lien HELOC. That would take all of the debt, because your equity would then come available at about 80 to 90%. So if you have, even if you have $1 million, let's say, in equity, and they allow you a 90% loan to value, you're talking about 900,000 available and only 485 taken up. So you could use the remainder of your equity to start funding, whatever your investments are, your life policies, whatever, with the HELOC that you would have available, your equity available. So you could constantly be revolving this. It's what I do with my HELOC, is I just fund the retirement funds and my daughter's funds and things like that with the line of credit now. And then I just let my income go in and work it right back down. So you have the same option to do that. And it makes things a whole lot easier, because it doesn't matter, if you make $2,000 this month or $16,000 next month. You're just revolving that line, income going in, expenses coming out, and then you're watching the balances come down on your whole debt to pay off.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
And so you would pay all the credit cards off that way then with that?
I would. Now, because you have good income and because you have a lot of equity in your home, that would be the option that I would choose.
Okay. No,
because this is going to free up $4,200 in cash flow a month, just getting rid of this debt.
Do you have an idea what my payment would be on that every month based on
you don't have a payment. You're going to have an average interest throughout the payoff of about $1,600.
Okay.
So when your income goes into this line every month, it will satisfy any monthly payment. So you're just using this account as a checking account, income in, expenses out. You're not worried about payments anymore. You're just throwing income into this and watching your balance come down.
I see. And so would you use that to pay all my bills out of?
Yes, that's what I do. Yes.
Out of that. Okay.
Yep. Everything, that's what I said, this line, which would end up being about $1 million by the time they figured your equity into it. This would be your balance. You would have the other 500,000 or whatever sitting there. If you want to use it, fine. If you don't, fine. But as money comes in from cattle, from the gravel pit, whatever, you just throw it into here and then use it again as you need it. So you can see how quickly your balance is going to pay off if you're throwing, as you get paid the money into this line. It's just going to sit here available for your use again. Unlike with your mortgage, if you start throwing money into the mortgage, it's going to work the balance down, but you're not going to have access to pull it back out as you need to.
Yeah, and I've been paying on that $85,000 equity line for 15 years.
No
probably.
doubt. Yeah.
So stupid of me, but and it's not come down at all. I don't even know, the bank talked me into doing that. I don't even really understand why. I At that point in my life, I had a lot more income. I was more, and so I wasn't worried,
Right.
I was just being a little bit aloof about some things, and I shouldn't have been. Now it's ridiculous. I can't
Right.
get it down.
Right. And it's just because, we're not aware. We don't know what those bank tools are used for and how and, exactly what's going on. That's pretty sad, though, that you've been paying 15 years of it. Sounds like interest.
Yeah, I have.
That's horrible.
I know. Talk about throwing your money. That's why I like this. Sounds good though. I mean, I like this idea. Do you write? I'm trying to wrap my head around the first lien HELOC. So do you write checks out of that account and stuff?
Yes. They give you checks and debit cards.
Oh,
And what it is it's a HELOC, but it has checking account attached. So you just use the checking account like you do your checking account now. Everything is automatically transferred into and out of the HELOC. So you don't even have to worry about making transfers. You're just, yeah, it's very, very convenient. I have a couple of lenders I could refer you to that I work with that know how I teach. So they would know, what you're looking to do with Velocity Banking as well.
that'd be great. Because was that like a Wells Fargo or a U.S. Bank do those type of?
No.
No.
Wells Fargo is very, what is the word I'm looking for? They just don't work well with the community. They are known, they've been sued over and over and have literally won, not them, the government against them for things like discrimination against minorities and stuff like that, charging higher interest rates to certain people and not to others. So
Wow.
Wells Fargo is just not a good bank in general to deal with. And they don't offer anything that's of value to us who want to use it for Velocity Banking for sure. So be careful with them a little bit
Yeah.
because they're different. I mean, is that who you have? Is that who you have that equity line through?
No, I have that through U.S. Bank. We were
Okay.
private clients there. We had a lot of investments with them when we sold a big farm in California and had for quite a bit of money and invested and used U.S. Bank, did a lot of their private client group. We were in that for years and they did a lot and they did pretty good by us.
Well, I feel like that with the business, especially because you're like self-employed, I feel like the line of credit, the home equity line, that's the first lien would be your best bet.
Could we use that like if for buying hay? Because that's what happens to us. We get so strapped because we don't have a line of credit. We get so strapped while we're waiting for the cattle money and we have to spend $45,000 on hay. I mean, we make it all, we make about a $90,000 profit on our cows every year, but we got a lot of overhead. Right. And so that's what hurts us and causes all the stress in our marriage is, when I need a $45,000 check to pay for our hay so our cows can eat. Right. And we have and it's not there, or it completely drains our savings.
Right. So let's imagine that you have a $435,000 balance on your new HELOC and you have $900,000 available for your use. So you can see how that you're going to have plenty of funds available. And I was going to show you what that looks like. So if you have $465,000 available, your income is going into this balance every time you get paid. So let's say that they tell you, okay, your available is 465 and you need the 45,000 to feed your cattle or whatever. You're still going to have 420,000 available for your use. This just becomes part of this balance so that when you do get the cattle check, you can put it right back into here. How much ever it is, let's say 60,000.
Love it.
Then you're back up with your equity to 485. So you're constantly funding yourself because it's your home, your equity. You're just using it as needed. So when this balance keeps coming down, this just keeps going up. So you have more and more available.
What about my credit? Because of my credit card debt, my credit's probably like maybe a 700, probably like a 685. Are they going to not, that first lien HELOC, is that going to be hard on me?
The first lien is 700. So you do need a 700 credit score. And if you're under 700, the bank that I use out of Nashville, they will tell you what you need to be doing to get the credit score up. So they can tell you what credit card needs what amount so that you boost the credit score. If you're watching my videos, I show you how if you break down your monthly payments into weekly payments, even making a couple of payments a week, small payments on your credit card, that alone will boost your credit score. So you have a couple of options to get that up really quickly if it is below 700, but you can still check with them and they'll work with you to show you what you need to actually pay on so that you're getting the credit scores boosted.
Okay. Perfect.
So it'd be worth a conversation just to talk to them so that you kind of have an idea of what you need to do to set up in the event you're not there yet. But you look like you're there to me. It just looks like it. If you need a little bit of a boost on your credit score, that should happen by the next reporting date if you're doing just a couple of small things to do the boost, especially if it's due to your credit cards.
It is.
Then that's an easy fix. You just have to get, like I said, the best thing that I have seen to boost a credit score is doing, like, if you have $100 due on a due date for a credit card, if you do 25 per week, for some reason, that it resets the interest cycle. So when it resets the interest cycle, it makes your balance lower. Then when it reports to the credit bureau, it shows that you're really making payments or whatever. And for some reason, I've seen a boost from 40 to 120 points within the next reporting date just doing that.
Wow, I'm going to do that. Now, I have 2 credit cards with a 0 interest. I don't need to worry about those.
No.
Right. But I have the other 5 are definitely interest, so I can work on those.
Well, just to be honest with you, I pay my credit cards off on the due date every month. And I just put my living expenses on the credit card so that I'm gaining the cash rewards. But I still go in and pay mine off. I try to do it weekly, just because I want to keep my credit score strong as well.
Well, and I do have that cash flow right now of 60,000. I could put some big chunks on those cards.
Okay, be careful with big chunks because they'll cut limits, and if they cut limits, that's not going to help you at all.
No. Okay.
Yeah. So just try to, like if you have 500 due on a credit card, then try to do $100 payments throughout the month. To meet the 500.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll help more than actually paying big chunks down.
Yes, because the big chunks, especially, Wells Fargo, Synchrony, who's the other one? There's another one that has cut limits. So when they cut limits, that hurts your credit score because you need all of the credit available that you possibly can have.
Okay.
So you want to avoid that. So make smaller. Even if you make more, let's say that you're going to pay your food bill on a credit card and you have $1,000 a month in a food bill. If you're going to put the 1,000 into the income to cover your food costs for the month, that's fine, but break it down to where you're doing like $200 payments into it a couple of times a week. That way they're not, wanting to cut your limits. It doesn't trigger the bank for some reason if you do the smaller payments.
Okay.
So I can introduce you through email to the lender that does the first liens for Idaho.
That'd be great.
If you want to have a conversation anyway with them.
I do. Is that the Nashville company?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yep. That would be, I would be very interested. This looks like it could be a huge.
It definitely is a game changer for your finances when you get into any line of credit because you've stopped counting on the checks to come in. Now you're just working, and as the checks come in, you throw it into your line. It's not like that paycheck to paycheck filling anymore because now you have the money. You have the money available. You need, $20,000 for the cattle or whatever. You just write a check. That's taken care of. You're breathing. No arguments. The marriage is good. Now the income comes in, and you just replace it back into your equity.
So would my mortgage would not be through U.S. Bank anymore then? Is that how, how does that work?
Okay. It would pay off. And then it would be with the new first lien HELOC.
Okay. And the equity too. They pay that equity off too. The equity line.
Oh yeah, the equity line, yes. Yeah.
That would be really nice.
And your credit cards. So they'll put everything in that you want into it. Is there any other questions that you have? I
don't think so. I think this is a great start. A great plan.
All right. And if you think of anything you forgot to ask, you feel free to email me.
Okay. I appreciate that.
You are very welcome. Good luck with everything. I know it's gonna work out eventually. Just keep your head up and keep holding on because it's going to have to work out one way or the other.
Right.
They will let you know at the bank though what it is you need to be doing on your end to get ready for that. And it's about a 30 to 45 day process, depending on how fast an appraiser gets out to your home.
Okay.
So it doesn't take a whole lot of time to get into one once you're approved and moving that
Get the
way.
ball rolling. Awesome.
Yep. Okay. Well,
right,
like
thank
I
you.
said, if you think of anything you forgot to ask, feel free to email me.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Have a good
Okay.
day.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye.